Okay, team, good morning. I know it's Friday and we're getting ready for the Christmas holiday. But while everyone else was kind of gearing down a little bit, that's nothing wrong with that. There are some things I want to go over with Texas Movement Performance, currently hosted at performance.texasmovement.com. Like I said before, I've stepped away from the in-person training model of TMP. Sometimes I'll abbreviate it that way for efficiency's sake. Since 2015, basically I've operated in the boutique gym environment, the private gym environment. I didn't take the traditional path of working with a big box gym first and building up clientele and then doing something else. It probably the only reason I got into personal training at all was because of Ray Edwards and Brandon Paraway giving me the opportunity at Sweat Wellness, which was a private luxury apartment, it was basically a consulting service. So Brandon directly fed me clients to get started when I was much younger. And then I helped Ray with some boot camps, and we grew a boot camp at one particular location from just one person to more than nearly 50 people at one point, almost certainly more than 40. So we worked very well in tandem, and then I was given the general manager position, and then we scaled that membership from 0 to 80 members within a matter of 9 months. Actually, we had well over 100 signups, but there was some attrition for a number of reasons. And that was in a non-AAA location. So despite not being in an optimized neighborhood for revenue, we still had a lot of success there. So that was kind of the conception, that was around 2014, and once I stepped away from Sweat Wellness into the Highland Park, Dallas, uptown Dallas neighborhood, I began Texas Movement as just kind of an independent consulting service for the higher net worth individuals, and I brought several professional athletes into that environment to do consulting, and ended up doing a little bit of athletic performance combined with injury rehab, making sure to stay away from any type of physical therapy connotations. It was just consulting services, as it still continues to be. And that went on until COVID. COVID, as you all remember, shut down many businesses, particularly gyms were affected, and we are going to stay away from the conversation as to whether those measures were effective or necessary. But naturally, that changed the outcome of everybody's business. During the time that I was there, operating Texas Movement, I interned under a Texas State licensed massage therapist and TPI 3-level golf instructor, as well as along the way a few other performance coaches. So I got a kind of a wide berth of experience when it came to working with both professional athletes and kind of amateur golfers and semi-professional golfers as well. And so it gave me a pretty good wheelhouse on teaching and training, and also the spectrum of injury rehab all the way to elite performance. And as I mentioned before, after studying the work of Tom Myers, Anatomy Trains, it gave me a better understanding of fascial lines, which gave me even more context to combine with my engineering degree, I think, which now gives Texas Movement Performance a pretty unique perspective on the human body and kinesthetic intelligence as a whole. So combining all those things, now I believe we have a proprietary pedagogic, proprietary framework that we can teach to others. And eventually I would like to have a certification that I develop and give to other upcoming trainers, perhaps right out of high school or right out of college, if they've done their degree in kinesiology, or if they've done their degree in any kind of movement study, biomechanics, exercise, sports science, um, and they're looking for some kind of practical certification to move forward. There are some things in 2026 I want to add to Texas Movement Performance's protocol. As I mentioned before, it spans the entire spectrum from injury rehabilitation all the way to elite performance. Because you can't perform at an elite level until you're neutral or healthy, and you can't get there until you've recovered from injury fully. So I have enough testimonials of using both strength work and mobility work, pliability work, to bring people back to a neutral position in terms of active daily life. And then from there, we do have very strong methodology on how to take them from neutral to whatever level they choose to perform. All right? So all of those concepts there's a level 1 outline in the Elite Secrets course, which is currently hosted on the Udemy platform. You can find that at performance.texasmovement.com. That is a great resource for any coach, trainer. If you're an AAU coach that's just kind of overwhelmed with a bunch of kids and what to do, and it's going to give you a lot of good ideas as far as how to think about things conceptually. Not super long. The lectures are very digestible, rated 5 stars even by Olympic gold medalists. So a lot of trainers have given me positive feedback about the content there. So I urge you to take a look at it. You can preview a couple of courses, I believe, through Udemy, but I would greatly appreciate your support by the purchase of the course, and I think you will get more than 10 times your value if you make the investment. Okay? Any person who calls himself a personal trainer that deals with any kind of athletics or anything like that should definitely take a look at it. I have never been a nutrition expert. Okay? It's never been something that has, not that it hasn't been important to me, it's been extremely important to me. However, nutrition is one of those things that as you go higher and higher, the cost goes up as well. And especially the higher level you want to perform, the more precise the nutrition has to be for all the systems involved. In 2026, I'd like to kind of compile best practices for nutrition, both from a performance standpoint and also from a healing standpoint. So you may have noticed in the past few conversations we've had, I've referenced different holistic wellness options, and I'm exploring who might be the best long-term nutritional partner for Texas Movement Performance. And I would like to not have a supplement line per se. I know that's a very common thing for many personal trainers to do. What I prefer is kind of a eat to live, train to win kind of nutrition line. And I'd like to have a general menu for those just starting out in the world of self-care. For those of you that are unaware, Texas Movement Performance has its own YouTube channel. Okay? So I believe it's at Texas Movement Performance, all spelled out. This conversation here is on Texas Movement Media. So I happen to know the lead the lead consultant for Texas Movement Consulting, the head of Texas Movement Media, and also the head performance specialist at Texas Movement Performance. Very fortuitous chain of events that I know all three of those individuals. But in any case, the information is siloed pretty well. Texas Movement Performance is where on YouTube is where the exercise library is hosted. We have about 60 videos of various exercises that are very common in the gym. In addition to that, I walk you through a initial workout that is full body, upper and lower body. And after you go through that workout, you should feel kind of balanced and set and strong. And it should give you a little boost of energy rather than fatiguing you. Okay? You have a lot of freedom within the workout, but you still have the structure that you need to instruct you on what you want to do. So I urge you to take a look at Texas Movement Performance on YouTube. Okay? And as far as the Elite Secrets course for trainers, performance.texasmovement.com. I've tried to make this as streamlined as possible, as consistent as possible in each vertical, so that there is no confusion. Now, for those of you that may be scaling partners for us in the future, we do not necessarily require an in-person facility at the moment, okay? We're perfectly happy with consulting out to your current setup and doing seminars there. As I mentioned, we do have experience working with amateur golfers, and our kind of movement specialty is breaking down patterns without excessive Latin root word language. So when you're teaching people, it's not important how much you know. It's about how much you're able to communicate with the person that's trying to learn. That's what makes our approach a little bit different. We're not going to hit you over the head with any kind of kinesiology, textbook language. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What are the obstacles that you're currently facing? Are those obstacles structural in your posture? Or are they strength deficiencies that you have? Are you restricted in your mobility by any means? Are you unable to get into certain positions because of a pliability issue? Or, are you cramping here or there and that's why your body's kind of protecting itself? Those are all things we can assess and figure out within a very short period of time. Okay? So that's kind of, when we talk about movement consulting, when I started Texas Movement, I instead of calling myself a personal trainer, I called myself a movement consultant because that's what I wanted to be seen as. Somebody who could really assess problems on a one-on-one basis and then at a higher level create a custom plan to get you back to where you want to be. So in a perfect world, what I'd like to do is take the Elite Secrets course and flesh it out a little bit more into a full-fledged digital certification, complete with maybe exams or and certificates, obviously, at 3 levels. There's already a couple of trainers that I've spoken to that have probably the ability to pass level 1, and I'd love to make the Texas Movement performance certification kind of a legitimate thing in 2026. So for those of you that may be interested in helping us scale, that's something that could potentially open up a lot of careers for some young people that may be interested. Okay? And remember, that certification would encompass the ability to engage wisely with rehabilitation experts, active daily living, regular training, and elite performance specialists. Okay, Texas Movement has worked with a few NFL athletes and NBA athletes, and as well as UFC, equestrian, pageant winners, ballet specialists. So we have a good blend of hurdlers, high jumpers, all those things, and of course sprinters. That's basic. So we have the ability to look at the elephant from many different sides, and so that has only kind of cemented our or pedagogy. Okay, so we have a lot of good options there, and we can host clinics at whatever location you want, and bring in crowds accordingly and provide value. So we've done that for youth athletes before, middle school, high school. We've taken kids that are preparing to go to college from the D3 level to the D1 level. So remember, when you think about the whole spectrum and you apply a comprehensive strategy, you can scale it up or down to whatever level of client that you're working with. So this is definitely something that can be introduced to a community to lift all boats. Okay? And then clinics. Yeah, we can do clinics for golfers, pitchers, basketball players. We'd be happy to work alongside other experts if we don't personally have the sports expertise, sports-specific expertise. But remember, what we're not trying to be coaches. We're trying to be consultants for any gaps you may have in movement. So let's say your 12-year-old son didn't make the basketball team this year. What did he struggle with during tryouts? Was it his shot not falling and shot not being consistent? Was his agility and quickness not there? Was he unable to withstand some of the contact? Is there a strength issue there? Was his vertical jump not up to par? These are all things that can be fixed. Okay? Or did he get hurt? Also important. So that's text and movement performance, and as I mentioned before, we are looking to see if we can, partner with people that have a good nutritional background. We're not just looking for, counting macro type of people, carbohydrates, proteins, fats type of people. That's important, but we'd rather have, in this time where we all have to kind of streamline our budget, we want to make sure that we're eating to live and training to win. So we want to make sure that we are getting the necessary building blocks both for our central nervous system, our adrenal glands to function properly, all our internal processes to work well, our detox systems to work well, endocrine system, lymphatic system, clearing out any unnecessary mucus and all those things. So that's why you see me kind of highlighting some of these holistic options. And rather than putting, I personally have never used creatine. I tried it. Like once when I was was it in high school? I don't even think it was in high school. Maybe in college once. But it didn't serve any of my training goals. So I've never used, traditional performance-enhancing drugs. No SARMs, no testosterone, no nothing that would be considered of that kind. I do believe THC has value as an inflammation reduction tool. And here's something we should discuss that I think is important. When it comes to things like alcohol and THC. Especially for those that may come from a religious background or traditional conservative background. Even though currently THC is being heavily commoditized, again at the expense of some communities that have historically been vilified for it, I believe that it has very useful applications for joint inflammation and training progress. I think professional athletes already know this, and I think any bans that have happened as a result of only THC should be retroactively canceled, and if possible, there should be some kind of restorative action and apology to the athletes that suffered any kind of emotional harm because of that. I don't think that there's anything inappropriate about using THC or CBD to help with recovery. Now, just like any drug. Okay? I don't know who it was. Cat Williams may have said if you take 50 aspirin, it'll be your last headache, right? If you only sit on the couch and ingest THC, and you don't have a good muscular strength base, and you don't have a good, solid base of critical thinking and knowledge by a healthy, literate education. If you don't know your mind, you are going to be you will be like those weed commercials where you're melting into the chair and so on and so forth. THC is meant to be a tool that helps relax the deeper tissues within the muscles, and to help all that friction kind of glide a little bit better. Okay, so if you don't have that foundation, it would be like drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Have you ever done that? It has that. It really hits you, right? And the feeling is very intense. And if you're chasing a high, then you'll get the high, right? But think about morphine and Percocets and those OxyContin. Those heavy pain medications are meant for what? They're meant for immediately after intense surgery, where the body has gone through an extreme trauma and there's a lot of pain response, right? So, would you take a morphine or a Percocet for breakfast? No. But unfortunately, that's what hip-hop culture has been encouraging, and I firmly denounce that, and I want that kind of mindset canceled in our young people. Okay? And, I have no experience with fentanyl. I don't know what or how it could be useful, and I don't know where it's coming from, what it's doing, and I don't pay attention to the mainstream media talking about it. I'd rather talk about the things that more directly affect my children and my community. Okay? So you Malayali kids that are doing your best to compete with everybody here in the public school system, steroids or testosterone or any kind of hormone is not what you need to be doing in high school. Dave Tate from Westside Barbell had a great statement many years ago. That's a switch you can only flip once in your life. So if you use it to get from junior varsity to varsity, that's it. That's all you've got. And then you're going to develop a psychological dependence on it. And those of you young boys that are using honey packs and Viagra and Cialis to have a sex life in your 20s, it's a bad idea, gentlemen. A very bad idea. Because those types of things are meant for emergency use only. Okay? So, without getting too graphic, I want you to be very responsible in how you use these supplements for your performance. Okay? So, I will continue to, introduce a little bit more about each vertical's plan for 2026, and we'll have that here on the Texas Movement Media page. And we'll probably create a playlist for each vertical so that we can keep it relatively categorized. Okay? So for all of those who are paying attention to Texas Movement Media, I thank you very much. Please check out Texas Movement Performance on YouTube and performance.texasmovement.com as our website. And hopefully we can continue to grow and scale together. And we will see you soon and discuss all the other plans we have for 2026. Have a great day.